we're going to talk about brushes. I remember mentioning before that I was working on a brush project. This is all my glorious trollness, and I am dry. Today is early morning, like 1:30 in the morning, July 4th. I did a look, had an issue, so I had to wash my face off, and I did not put on any moisturizers or anything yet. We're going to apply Tillamook, and we're going to get into this. This involves the brushes I will put in that Sigma brush book that I purchased from on Macari. So this is what that looks like again. And this holds a lot of brushes. I purchased it used and it was $12.99 plus, you know, cost for delivery and everything. But look at this. I mean, it looks brand new. So for larger brushes, go here and here. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that really? So there's room for 12 large brushes between the front and the back. And for smaller brushes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 16 smaller brushes you can fit in here. So I already have used, and I do use, and you have seen my Esum brush book. And this is actually called a brush book. And the brushes that are in here, they live in here always. But I do always end up adding brushes to it. So these are Sephora brushes, the travel size ones. And these are the purple handle Real Technique brushes, and this is a double-sided cheek and contour brush from Makeup Forever, and it actually came with the case. And so these live in here, but I always end up adding to it. And so what I decided to do, I'm gonna still let these live in here, and I do always put makeup on this side, but then I usually end up having to take another one of the cases, one of the storage cases, to put makeup in. So what we're gonna put in the Sigma brush book, and this is why I went through when I was using the same brushes, you know, multiple videos, just really getting more of a grip on how they work and what to do with them. And I bought more Scott Barnes brushes, as you know. And, you know, I purchased more of the Sigma Soft Collection brushes. And a few brushes were gifts with purchase. A couple brushes were gifted to me by Grace. And so I'm like, I'm sitting here like my brushes are on overload. And so I'm going to show you what I'm going to put in here. Then I'm going to put them in here and then show them to you. And again, I'm going to leave the Real Techniques and the Sephora travel brushes over there. Don't I look good, y'all? This is no skincare, just a freshly washed face. And it always trips me out how my hairline is dark right here and right here. Like, this is my natural hairline. Like, I'm like, what the hell? But anyway, so what we're going to put in here, we're going to put all 6. And I know I won't use them all. And the reason I'm putting extra is if I'm somewhere and I'm really rushing and I don't have the opportunity to wash my brushes after use, I'll still have clean brushes. Because typically with face brushes, because I'm using powder products, I'll reuse them. When I'm home, I never reuse unless I clean them. But when I'm away, I'm like, hey, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. But we're gonna put all 6 of these. I'm gonna miss these 2, I really am. Fenty 230 brushes. I just don't like that they're stained. The least stained is this one and this one. So I thought of keeping these out, and I said, you know what, no, let's just put them all away. Let's just put them all, because I'm just tired of looking at the stains on them. And if I use a dark eyeshadow, I'm like, okay, this is stained a lot, so let me use this one. This one is stained a little bit, you know, let me use this for a mid-tone shadow. And I'm tired of I just want to pick up a brush. I'm lazy. I just want to pick up a brush that'll suit the purpose and just use it. The thing is, though, these work really well. These work very well. And so I am going to miss not having them. And that is why I've been using the Hourglass number 3s more. And the issue with this one is because they're wider than the Fenty, sometimes I have trouble getting in my inner corner. But I have a fix for that. I have this one from Esum that's angled. That goes right here. I have these. You see me use a lot from Esum. These are small enough, you know, to go in here. They're not wide like the Hourglass number 3. So I said, I'm going to just put all 6 of these in here. And I also have from Scott Barnes these brushes. And I can just put pointy side down and put a shadow right here and it not be so wide. So I have options. And I have a Makeup Forever brush somewhere. I don't think I showed my Makeup Forever when I did my brush collection video. Maybe you know what I did, but it was just like mixed in with something else. And this one is angled, so pointy side down. I can get this in here too. But this is I don't want to say flimsy, but it has a lot of give. like more give than these do. And so I tend to not use this one unless it's a really powdery shadow. It will hold and it does lay down nice, but I just don't prefer that one. So all 6 of these are going in the Sigma, it actually says Professional Brush Collection on the side and actually on the front. Brush Case Professional Brush Collection. And so all 6 of those are going in there. So then I was thinking too, I was looking through everything. In the Esum one, we do have 2 Real Techniques brushes that I use to put on my eye primer, but I'm going to add this one instead of keeping it here at my station, which will leave me 2 brushes to blend out eye primer. And if it comes down to it, I can use any brush because they're all synthetic, so it doesn't really matter. So this one is going to go in the Sigma case for lower lash line. Both of my Blend Bunnies, because I have enough of these type shapes, except this one, because this one is just kind of just blunt. I prefer this one because it's tapered, but I have enough tapered brushes. I think I have at least 4 of the Fenty ones, and these you see me use a lot for lower lash line. So I have enough, and I have, you know, other brushes for lower lash line. So both of the Blend Bunnies are going in there. I am going to put in one of my 3 Makeup Geek Defined Crease brush. I don't use these for my crease because I typically don't do a crease shade. But if you don't have hooded lids like me, and you don't put a crease shade in your crease, because I take my lid shades from here up to here. If you've seen any of my videos, you know this. And so I always just use this one for lower lash line, or maybe just brow bone. And so I'm going to put this one in here, go like this so you can actually see the bristles. So this I'm going to put in here to blow out lower lash line and maybe to pull out the shadow. Another brush for lower lash line, I have one of these. This is a LaRouche LR007 tapered blending brush. We're going to put this for lower lash line because sometimes I just want to just blow it out or blend it out, or, you know, for blending up here, because we are taking 6 of these. And even though these are blending, it says blending on it, you see me use these as packers. But bringing up my lid shades up to here, I can also just turn it sideways and blend it that way, or just use it straight forward and just put a shade for transition. So this is a blending brush, but I use it for packing, but for me it can be used for both. And so I wasn't really tripping over, I don't have any blending brushes in there. But we're going to take this one for lower lash line, for that, and if we want to pull out shadow. I have 2 of the LaRouche brushes that I do like for lower lash line and pulling out shadow, but I like these too much to put these away, because these brushes that are going in that case, they're going to live in there, which means I will not be using them unless I go away, and I didn't want to commit to putting these 2 brushes in there, because I really do like it for lower lash line and for outer corner and just pulling out the shadow. So these are staying. And part of me is thinking if there's another 50% off, sale to get more, and at some point I will, but it would need to be 50% off because I have enough brushes. I do not need any more brushes. Like, I don't. And so for foundation, the Travel Sephora ones in the Esum case, there's 2 in there I use for foundation. There's a 3rd one if the other 2 are dirty, I will use. Foundation brushes, I do wash after every use. And so we're going to put, this one is an easy one. I do really like this one though, but it's stained. And y'all know what I was saying about the eyeshadow brush ones. I'm just like, that's just, So this is going to go in there. That's going to live in there. These 2 Sephora brushes, which are friggin' awesome. These are the number 56. The Silver Ferrule, I friggin' love these for foundation, because I can get right into the corners. I can get into the corners of my nose. But I think I have 3, did I purchase a total of 3 of these from Sigma? And I have the one that was actually for foundation. That's not it. I have the one actually that was for foundation, which I don't prefer for foundation. And I don't know why I'm trying to show you, because it doesn't even really matter. But, so, was it this one? No, I picked that up the first time. Was it this one? No, that's the same one. Y'all see what I'm saying? I got too many friggin' brushes that I can't even find the one that I'm trying to show you, because I kept buying duplicates. So y'all like, girl, just stop. It's bugging me. It's bugging me. That's what's happening right now. And it's bugging me that I can't find it. So I'm just going to grab all the Sigmas except one and find the one that is actually for foundation. And I know y'all, I'm out of control. This one, you know what, because it's shorter than the other ones. It's shorter than the other ones. That's why I didn't see it. This is the one that's actually for foundation, but I don't prefer it for that. And so we're going to take these. We're going to put these in there to live. And I have an Ulta one that's shaped like this that is starting to stain. I have to wash it like 3 times. Wash it, let it dry. Wash it, let it dry. Wash it, let it dry to get all the foundation out. So I may put that in here to live too, but I'm not sure. But definitely these two are going to go in there to live. And for my face, I have 2 sets of the Scott Barnes travel brush sets. This one is a highlighter brush, so we're going to put this in there. This one says travel powder brush, and this I use for bronzer, contour, blush, and sometimes I'll use a tip for highlighter. We're going to use this. Now keep in mind, in the Esum brush book, there are at least 2 brushes in there that I use for blush and bronzer. But we're going to put this one in there just to have another one. And this is a travel blender brush. I don't use it often. It's almost shaped like the hourglass, but not quite. And it's more dense than the hourglass, and it's more rounded than the hourglass. How this is more, and not that even, and it's not that even that it's square, but this is definitely a dome shape, and I do like this. And I told you I had 2 sets of these, so one is staying. One of each of these is staying here. But this one is good for just putting a shadow all over the lid because it's so big. How this is a travel blender brush, I don't know. Because this sucker, it covers my entire mobile lid and into the crease. And so this is good for if I wanted to do a one and done, or to lay down a shadow and then layer it with something else. This is great for that because I can get it done quick. But we're only putting in one of those. This is the travel angled smudger brush. How the hell this thick ass brush is for smudging, I don't know. But what I like it for, because it's so thick. You see how thick this is? What I like it for though is taking a shimmer eyeshadow and just placing it and pressing under my lower lash line and then coming out here. And then taking a smaller brush, let's say something like the Blend Bunny, with a darker matte shade and putting that right up close to the lash line. Because this is so wide, it will place and blow it out at the same time, whereas something like this will be right against the lash line. And I love that look. So this one is going to live in there. And we're putting in all of my lethal brushes. Some of them are starting to stain. So let's start with where we are. We have 2 of these. And this tells you I like them if I have more than one. These are the blush brushes. Only one has started to stain. This one stained a little bit. This one stains more. So when I look to use it, I picked this one because it stained more. And I'm like, I just want to pick up a freaking brush. But this works really well. Just even patting it in like my y'all know I have House Labs blushes, and Sigma blushes. What else? I think that's it at this point. Like for real. But this is good for just tapping it, not even swiping, but just patting it and putting it on. Oh my gosh, it is beautiful. And I can use the tip for bronzer and contour if I want to. I can use the tip for highlighter if I want to. So both of these are going to live in the Sigma case. These 2 are the contour brushes, and these can be used for blush as well. And you see this one is more stained than this one. These I like for blush as well because I can just tap it in straight on and then just tap it, and even just tapping it, it'll blend it out. And for contour, I'll turn it sideways and put the angle side back, and I'll start here where you see the natural hollow of my cheek, and then I'll just swoosh it down. And y'all know I bring my blush or my bronzer / contour, because I use them interchangeably. I'll put it here and then come along, you know, do it here, feather it upward, do it here, come along the perimeter of my face, my 5-head, and do that, and a little on my nose. So both of these are going to live in there as well. These are both different. I only have one of these. This is the one I would gravitate to, and you see how this is starting to stain too. I had these, I think, at least a good 1.5 years. They came out in like December, I think, 2022. And the second ones that I purchased was in January 2023. This one is the one I would use with the Hourglass Radiant Light because it's tapered at the top. I put it in here and then I can put it under my eyes and then swipe it side to side and just go up and down, side to side, up and down, side to side, and just go back and forth. I love this brush for that, and because it is tapered, I can also put it under my eye. This one is a monstrous brush. It's not as monstrous as Scott Barnes. Scott Barnes is like, I will eat you for lunch. But this is going to go in there. This is, did I say what this one is? This one says bronzer brush, surprisingly, because this is just fucking huge. And so, like, what are you bronzing? And if you have a smaller face than mine, you see I have a puffy cheek area, right? This covers my entire, look at that. So how is this for bronzer? Unless you're just using the tip of it. So for this, I use this for an all-over powder brush. And even for loose powders, because it's so friggin' big. Like, look, this thing is huge. This one says powder brush. I like this one also for loose powders, but I tend to use this one mostly with the Hourglass and the compact because it fits right in, and I can just swirl it around, swirl it, and I'm done. And I'm done. But because I have that monstrosity of a brush from Scott Barnes, I'm like, I'm okay with putting this in here. And I like the idea of having a set. I know, y'all know me. A set. Not quite a set because there's only two. A random. These two for lower lash line. These randoms. This random. My thick thighs caught it. This random for blending out eye primer. And all of these for eyeshadow and for blending. And so, and if I want to do brow bone, you know, I have this one. And I do have the one still in the Esum brush book, and some of them are like really thin and really tiny, and I do actually use all of these. But while we're here really quick, I'll show you what's in here. This one is a Sephora number 53, which is the same as this brush, and so I would use this one for contour, bronzer, come around. I could also use, I have used this for foundation too, because I can get under my eyes with it because of the shape of it, and I can get around the corners of my nose. And so this I would use for powder or for foundation. I have two of those in there. This is a powder brush, and these are the travel size ones. This one is Flawless Light Powder. So this I would use for blush, use the tip of it for bronzer, contour, you know, set under eye, you know, just, you know, do all the things. I have two of these in here. Look how tiny this is. This is so cute. This says mini foundation brush. This one, no, it's not like this one, because this one is tapered. This is like the oh goodness, the Ulta one I have, and like the new Sigma brushes. So I'm trying to go too fast. It's shaped like the Sigma brushes, and this is a powder brush, but I love this for foundation. So I have two of these in here, and I do use these for foundation. I love this shape the same reason as the other ones, so I can get into the corners here. I can get into the corners around my nose for the redness, and I can just use the side of it, and I can really get close to my brows without disturbing my brows. Like because sometimes I may miss, you know, when I'm, you know, stippling on, I may miss foundation right here. And if I see I'm missing, I can just take the edge of the brush and just put that there. Or if I'm missing foundation or primer in here, I can take that edge of that brush and get that in there, and I can really get under my eyes. And so there's two of these in here. I'm gonna take out all of these Real Techniques brushes. These have been in here, y'all. I can't even tell you how long these have been in here. They live in here, and when I travel with them, I do use them. But now I will just have more choices on what to use. So what else is in here? I do recommend that brush book, but you will need more storage. And so I will put below the Makeup Pro bag kit thing, and also the brush book. When I purchased it, it was on sale for like 50 or 60% off, and the brush book came for free. The brush book by itself is $65. So if you see like a half off sale or even 40% off, and it includes the whole kit because there's 4 storage compartments and the brush book, I do recommend it. even if just you're storing your backups in it, or if you do travel a lot, it is awesome. So this is in here. I think I use this one sometimes to blend out primer, but this is just a huge brush. And I don't know what it is. I'm not going to even look at the numbers or whatever, but this is that. And let me just hold that over here. I have, and these I only have one of. This is a brush that I would use for blending a shadow or buffing lower lash line if I want to blow it down, because it is a wide brush. I love these brushes. This is one that I would use to blend out eyeshadow primer because it's wide for me just to do it really fast. Or if I wanted to do a one and done, lay down a shadow and then layer it with something else, that works really well for that. This one I know I use this for blending out my eye primer because of the shape of it. I just love that shape because it allows me to get in here to blend out the eye primer. And if I'm missing getting close to my lash line, I can turn it this way, pointy side down, like I do with the Sephora one, and make sure I'm getting the primer close to my lash line. And I also use this for paint pots. And so that's in here. And I have 3 left to show you. This one I use for shadow, and it's tiny. So if I'm doing my whole lid, and y'all know I usually put at least 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 4 shadows on the lid, this is good for that. So say I want to just do the first portion of the lid. That's done. Okay, that's done. Go to the next brush. Take something like this and do the rest of the lid. Or for this, use the tip of it and do for lower lash line, or do for brow bone, or for blending. And this is the last one that's in here. This one is angled as well. And I like this one for using the angle side down, using under my brow bone, or angle side down, putting shadow on my lower lash line, or using it angle side down to pull out shadow. So these brushes are going to go back into the brush book. And those are Real Techniques brushes. They don't cost a lot. Makeup Forever Professional. I love that it came with the case because it's hard as hell to store these. And this is why I don't use it at home, because I store my brushes this way and I don't want to mess up the bristles. So this side, I don't know what side I use for what. I think this is the side that I use for, this side I think is the one I use for, if I'm using this one for highlighter, blush, and bronzer, I'll do highlighter first because that's the lightest. And then I'll, use the side of it and place my blush. And then I'll use this side of it to put my bronzer here, feather it up, and then come along, because I use bronzer and contour interchangeably. And so that's what I do that for. So we have a ton of brushes. So I'm going to put these back in the brush book, and I'm not going to show you that again because you've seen it. And also when I put this brush back, I always just like on each side go up or down because I want to make sure like the bristles aren't bent. So I really don't like double-ended brushes. I mean, if I had a larger space and just kept all my stuff out, then yeah, just lay it flat. But because I don't want to do that. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna put this stuff back in the brush book that lives in here. Then I'm gonna put the brushes in the Sigma Brush Case Professional Brush Collection, and then I will show you what that looks like. So just hang tight. We have put this together, y'all. Look how puffed out it is. This, I didn't think I was gonna fill it up. This was a good investment, but one thing I think I'm going to change, but let's start from the beginning. So we lift this up here. We have the brushes for foundation, and we have the bronzer, contour, blush brushes right here. The only thing with this is making sure that the bristles are not being bent over when I put the flap down. This side, yep, the Fenty brushes. This side, we have for primer, foundation, well no, to blend out eye primer, lower lash line, all over Scott Barnes brush, the wide one, and then the smudge brush for lower lash line. This is the one where I'm second guessing because you may not be able to see here, but this is stretching this material. And so I'm questioning myself if I should put this in the brush book because this is stretching this out. And even though I put my fingers in it to stretch it out, it still left a mark as I push the brush down, and it's not even all the way down. So this may or may not stay in here. But we have the powder brush, whatever brush that was, the blush brush, the highlighter brush, and the fluffy powder brush. The only thing with this side particularly is when I close this down, it pushes on the bristles. And so, and you can see it here. You see when I push it down, what's happening to those bristles? And so when I put it down, I put my hand in it and held my hand down. Well, I had my hand off to the side, like my finger off to the side, and just kind of like brushed them back as I'm putting the flap down. So that's the only thing with those, and that's because those brushes are hella big. But y'all, this thing, I have filled this up, and I'm thinking, I'm not going to need all these spaces. But yeah, we used most of the spaces. But I am right now going to take this one out because I don't like how it's stretching the fabric. So I'm using my fingers to comb down or brush down those large lethal brushes, those really puffy ones, because I don't want my bristles to get messed up. But this is tight, and that's because of those two thick brushes. So maybe I should put one in the front. I don't know. But for right now, this is what we're going to travel with. So whenever I go away, even if I'm not able to wash them in between, there's enough for me to do looks for at least 3 days, maybe more. And what I normally do is if I don't wash a brush before I bring it back, I'll just wrap a tissue around the bristle part and still just put it in. So when I get home, whatever I use will be washed and put right back in here. So this is where these are going to live. I am so glad I got this. This is bulged out, y'all. Look at this right here. Like this. What the hell? Look at this. This side where it was, and then I don't want to break my brushes. But you can see from the zipper's like... So we're going to put this one in the Esum brush book. So this is just more stuff to carry because now we will have this brush book. So now when I travel, I want to have to think about what brushes to take. The only thing that's not in here is brushes for my upper lash line. But we're going to put this in here really quick, and I'm going to figure out what brushes to take for upper lash line. So we're just going to stick this in a pocket, this brush, and we're going to put this one back in here. We're going to close that up. So what we're going to do now, we're going to figure out brushes for upper lash line, and I don't know if I want to put them in a brush book or the Esum one. These are all my eyeliner for upper lash line brushes, and I have enough where I don't think I would miss any. So, but I don't want to put my Esum ones in there because I really love those. What I'll do is I'll take, and I really love the MAC ones, but they're starting to fray. And so you know what? I'm going to take the ones that are frayed. These two are frayed the most. And I really do like the Esums, but I don't want to be without the Esum ones, even though I have 4 of them, because I did give some away. We're going to take, this is from Melt Cosmetics. We're going to take that one. And this is frayed. This is an Inglot one that's frayed really badly. We're going to take that one. And so these are the ones that we're going to be left with here. So we're going to put them back home. And these 4, I think I'm going to put these in a Sigma brush book. The Sigma brush case. That's what we're going to do with this. And so that'll be done. So that's my travel brush kit. I am just hella excited because I never now have to be like, oh, what brushes am I going to take? What eyeshadow am I going to take? Because the eyeshadow dictates what brushes I take. But with having these in here, like this has everything. Where am I going to put these brushes? Damn. So I got 4, but I have like 2. I'm going to have to move something. So I have 2 spaces here. I have 1 here. And I have 1 space here. So now this one is full. This is crazy. And I got 2 more spaces left over here. So we're going to put 1 here. And I could just put both of them in there because they both fit. But 1 there and 1 here. So we filled up all of our eyeshadow brush spaces. Wow. I am so excited about this. Let me know if this was exciting to you, but I need to figure out like how to get this bulge out of here. Because you see how it's just like leaning to the side. But I'm excited. So now I never have to figure out what brush. Everything is in here. Everything is in here. And I'm excited about that. So the only thing will just be what makeup am I going to take? And I am going away later today. So my brushes are taken care of. Thank you for being here for this journey. I did not think this video was going to be this long. But when I mentioned my brush project, that was the project. Figuring out what was going to live in here. And I did think to put the Real Techniques brushes that are in the Esum brush book in here. But as you see, they wouldn't even fit though. And then I would still use the Esum brush book because I put makeup in there too. So, yeah. Thank you for being here. Lots of information down below. Let me know what you think. You'll see me next time.